We head to the waiver wire with week 3 being in the books. I hope you're better than 1-2. I hope you're not 0-3. But either way, man, we're going to be talking about some guys. What portion of your FOB should you be spending on these players? We got we got like 9 names to talk about today. A lot of names on the waiver wire. And this is a big week, man. I think there's some guys on the waiver wire that can actually be league winners and will blossom and help win your league in the long term. Short-term potential? I feel like if you're in a deeper league, there's not too much on the waivers this week, except for maybe this name. Now, if you're in a deeper league, he's probably not available. But name number 1 is Trey Benson. Now, why Trey Benson? James Conner's leg is snapped in 2. Trey Benson is the main beneficiary of that. He actually looked pretty solid in week 3 after the James Conner injury. He has 10 rushes, 42 yards. This guy is a good rusher. He has been waiting in the wings behind James Conner. They used high draft capital on him. His prospect profile is solid. He can receive the ball. Prior to the James Conner injury, Trey Benson was already eating into James Conner's workload. Now, 44% snap rate in week 2. So that was prior to James Conner being hurt. He's the main beneficiary, especially because he has the receiving role. Now, if you are in a deeper format, people will be recommending you to go get Emery DeMercado. Not even on flockfantasy.com. Go check this out. Free tool. Emery DeMercado is a bum. Do not spend a single dime on this guy. He is trash. Trey Benson is rostered in 50% of leagues. He's the only relevant name to note. The next name, this is where we start getting into guys that are a bit more realistic here. Torrey Horton. Week 1, he does nothing. He does absolutely nothing. In fact, a goose egg. Embarrassing. Now, week 2, week 3, back-to-back weeks with tutties. And in fact, in week 3, what I will say is that he matched his 4 targets, and this was a game script where the Seahawks did not have to pass the football. Now, breaking it down a bit further, he also looked explosive on special teams. I really think that we're just going to continue to see a trend of Cooper Kupp fading and Torrey Horton kind of eating into that workload. You know, if you take a look at what Cooper Kupp did in week number 1, in week 1, he was dust. In week 3, he was dust. In week 2, he wasn't dust. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And Torrey Horton is the young guy, up and coming. Scam Darnold is new to Seattle. Torrey Horton's new to Seattle. JSN is the clear alpha there. But I think long-term, Torrey Horton, who has back-to-back games with touchdown as a rookie, could give you some upside on your bench in the long term. How much do I spend on him? Really not much at all. I'm talking about maybe spending 5% of your fab. I don't think there's going to be many bidders. Trey Tucker is going to be the hot name of the week, and it feels like you're playing with fire here. This guy's been in the league 4 points per game in 2023, 7 points per game in 2024. He wasn't good. Like, if we actually look at what he did last year, where we have a good sample size, you'll see volatility. 23 points in week 3, 15 points in week 4. You're not going to know when to start him. He's a prototypical best ball fantasy asset where you're not going to know. And look, he was playing all the snaps, like 90+% of the snaps in 2024 last season. Best game of his career for sure. 150 yards, 3 touchdowns is wild. 8 receptions. He gets the targets too. It's great, but it's fool's gold. Now, in week 2, he also did have 8 targets, which is encouraging. In week 1, where he had bad receiving totals, he brought in the deep ball and the touchdown catch. So sure, there's some encouraging signs, but people are probably going to go out there and spend 20% of their fab budget on Trey Tucker, and I just don't know when you're going to trust it. Keep in mind, Dante Thornton Jr., Jack Besh, Bowers is being a you got BBB, Brock Bowers bum. He's being a bum right now. His role will expand as we keep going. Jacoby Myers looks good. I think this is kind of just a volatile spike, and I don't know if we're going to see that. You know, Quentin Johnson is a good example. The big Q seems to have broken out truly. He had round 1 draft capital. You know, he had some troubles in year 1, but it seems like year 2 he's pulling it together to be more consistent. I don't know if we're going to see that with Trey Tucker. I'd spend 10% of your fab. Wouldn't really spend too much more. Luther Burden, here's where we go. Here is where we take our shot. Get the bow and arrow out. Luther Burden, I'm calling it. I think this is where you want to spend your fab. Now, listen closely. You are going to spend 20% or more of your fab on Luther Burden, and you will be disappointed because over the next couple of weeks, let's say he comes out week 4 against the Raiders, he'll have 3 points. Week 5, he'll have 0 points because he's on bye. Week 6, 7, 8, he'll probably average 4 points per game. So why the hell would you spend 20%, you're asking? I think long-term, this guy will be an asset for Caleb Williams and the Bears. Ben Johnson, he basically created Amon-Ra St. Brown into what he is. He liked coaching him. You have Luther Burden, a similar archetype in my eyes, clearly game planned to get him involved in week 3, and he brought in the deep ball, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, again, people are going to overreact to this. They're going to overpay. You kind of have to match them. This is going to be a stash still. He's not going to be starting in your lineup for quite some time, so it's a bit riskier to spend 20% of your fab, but he's probably one of the best options still on waivers right now in deep leagues. Oronde Gadsden. Nobody's going to go out there and buy for this guy. You can spend 5% of your fab on him, maybe even less. No one's going to get him. Week 1, week 2, this guy was a healthy scratch. He was drafted this year, healthy scratch week 1, week 2. Comes out week 3, first ever start, 5 catches on 7 targets and 46 yards. There's bums ahead of him. Tyler Conklin, Will Dissly. You know, those guys both, I honestly thought coming into the year that Tyler Conklin and Will Dissly both had some upside in their respect. Like, I thought either of those guys could be getting high targets. They didn't really do anything the first 2 weeks. And they said, you know what, why are we healthy scratching the guy we just drafted? They put in Gadsden. He had 7 targets. He actually looked pretty good. And one of those targets that he didn't bring in was actually in the red zone too, which you like to see. Could have been a much, much more productive day. I think Gadsden is worth rostering if you are weak at the tight end position. We could see a Harold Fenton Jr. type breakout over the next couple of weeks. Isaiah Likely is back from injury. I thought he'd be back. I thought he'd be back week 3. I thought Likely would be back in week 3. He wasn't, but keep in mind, Mark Andrews has done nothing throughout this season. Now, we'll see how Mark Andrews performs on Monday Night Football, but Isaiah Likely has consistently been developing his role year after year with the Ravens, and with Mark Andrews not being really involved in the receiving game that much this year, I think Isaiah Likely is bound to be involved and probably average, close to 8 or 9 plus points per game. He's probably out there sitting on your waivers. I'll say it again. And this is the same thing as Luther Burden. Don't expect results soon, but Isaac Tesla is a must stash for your team. He is my favorite waiver wire option. This guy has not made a catch with 2 hands yet. That's right. Every catch he's made has been a 1-hand catch. It's been a highlight reel grab. And this guy is very, very good, very talented. He's buried on the roster behind Amon-Ra, Jameson, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and Sam Laporta. He's also, I would say he won the wide receiver 3 spot ahead of Khalif Raymond. We'll see for sure on Monday Night Football, but I think he already leapfrogged from wide receiver 4 to wide receiver 3. He started as wide receiver 5 in preseason. They traded/cut the wide receiver 4, so Tesla has already gained 2 spots on the depth chart. He's 1 injury away from being a fantasy football winner, must roster guy. We've been saying over and over the last couple of weeks, add a Lee Kyle Monitor to your team ASAP. I hope you've been listening. Back-to-back weeks with touchdowns, and the week he didn't have the touchdown, week 1, he had 7 targets. His target volume is good. His target share is good. Now, the offense looks bad, but he's really, he's producing at the same rate as Calvin Ridley. 15 points in week 2, 14 points in week 3. Now, it is touchdown dependent. Without those touchdowns, you'd be unhappy starting him in your lineup. But he's out there as the clear wide receiver 2 on this team. It seems like Mr. Scam Ward has a good connection with him. This guy honestly is in flex play consideration week in, week out until he stops scoring touchdowns. Final name of the week 4 waiver wire video so far this week is going to be Malik Washington. Now, Malik Washington, another kind of stash type player. That's why I'm saying there's not too many guys in deeper formats that are actually readily available on waivers. The main guys probably Tucker, Gadsden, Burden, Tesla, likely Ayamonter. Malik Washington is rostered in 3% of leagues. Now, this guy has consistently been expanding his role. You can see he had 5 targets week 1, 5 targets week 3, brings in 3 catches for 12 yards in week 3. He almost had a touchdown as well. I just think that with the Dolphins being a bit of a dumpster fire to start the year, I know they look competitive against the Bills. Tyreek Hill is going to get traded. Jalen Waddle is going to get hurt, and their tight end is non-existent. Malik Washington will at some point in the year, he's not going anywhere. They're not committed to him because they're not paying him, right? So Malik Washington at some point this year will probably have an elevation in the depth chart, whether it's Waddle being banged up, whether it's Tyreek being gone, whether it's both. So Malik Washington should be rostered in your league, and he's not rostered anywhere. I think that wraps it up for the week for waiver wire. I'll monitor to see if we have anybody else. We're going to do the ranking videos this week. As always, smash like and subscribe button. I really hope you're off to a hot start this year in fantasy. Thanks for watching.